right, everyone, welcome back to the Southeast Gassers podcast here on Shift Point's YouTube channel. I'm here with Randy Edmonds. We do our race recaps from the SEGA events that happen through the year. We're just coming off the Ram Clutches Nationals at Knoxville Dragway. I think it was a really good one. Everything I've heard has been really good.
It was a really good one. It's always good to go to the Knoxville track. West and Christian Clapp, they do a great job. It's as I told them Saturday night, going to Knoxville is like going home.
Yeah, that's true.
I enjoy going to Knoxville. Of course, not to say that I don't enjoy going to any drag strip anywhere, but I just feel at home at Knoxville.
It's got a good feeling there. I mean, that's how it was. It's like going, like you said, going to your home track basically. Mm-hmm. When we went over there, it just felt like just where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, Shady Side's kind of the same for me too. You know, going down with the buffs and stuff, it's great down there. But just like I say, any track's a great place to be.
Anytime it's a drag race, that ain't bad.
That's right. It was good. I guess the highlight was no rain.
Yeah.
No
finally
rain.
You guys got a break on the weather.
We fought the rain all year, but and it wasn't looking good at the first of the week. We kept looking at it and watching it. I kept watching the storm. The center track of the storm was east of the Mississippi, or east of Memphis, I guess, when I first started watching.
Because it looked like that hurricane was going to make its way up in here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I kept watching it, and it kept veering more and more to the west. And we had a few sprinkles on Thursday evening, sitting around the motorhome on Thursday evening, just chatting with everyone. But that's about it.
I want you to tell people your perspective on rain when you see the percentage of rain. You said Tom called you and said he liked how you looked at rain.
Well, I mean, as you all probably know now, in the position I'm in, I get what Quayne used to get, and Rocky, and so everyone's calling, asking, "Are we going to?" what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to cancel it or whatever, So, if they say there's 60% chance of rain, the way I look at it is there's 40% chance that it's not going to rain.
Exactly.
Or 70 and 30 or whatever. I look at it as the glass half full. that's the way I am.
I just don't think many people would look at it that way, and I liked that.
That's the way I look at it, and I try to be that way.
Right. Exactly.
Just look at everything positive.
Yeah, that's good. But I mean, look, from what I remember, the weather was just excellent that whole weekend.
It was great. It was great.
You guys were able to get all your Friday night stuff in and everything.
It got a little warm on Saturday, but nothing like what we saw in the past. Nothing like Union or Mooresville.
Yeah.
So but it gets hot in the summertime.
I mean, that's the nature of summer.
Yeah, and then and some summers are hotter than others.
Yeah, exactly.
We keep hearing all this stuff, but summers are summers.
That's right, exactly.
And but it was great. We had a good turnout. Stands were full. Everybody had a good time.
Yeah, good.
Everybody had a good time. Wes fed us on Friday night. A lot of mingling and everybody out running around and talking, even late Friday night and stuff. So it was a good time.
Yeah, the layout there, to plug the track a little more, the layout there is so nice. It's just that flat field and everybody's kind of on the same level, and I could see being able to kind of mingle be pretty easy there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is, and it was really good. You had a lot of people in a lot of different places and little groups set up. People working on their cars late Friday night. I know Daniel Haynes was scaling his car. And then I know Leslie, they couldn't get their car down the track Friday night. And late Friday night, they had it on the scales and stuff. Yeah. So it... They've got a set of scales over there, and everybody likes to, if they can get the car on those scales, to scale them.
The track scales.
Yeah, the track scales.
Gotcha.
Just pull up on them for a flat surface.
Right. Makes sense.
It was good. It was really good. I enjoyed the weekend.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's get into the racing.
All right. We had the AFX shootout over there.
Yeah, that's right.
John Ricker and his wife Michelle, they sponsored with Lamar Walden Automotive the AFX shootout. Superior Performance Transmissions is John's business, and there was a lot of excitement about it. On Friday night, they were out there testing, and but we had some problems with breakage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it looked like everything was going to be really good for Saturday, but we just had some cars that broke, and it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. But it was still really good.
Good.
You know, we had Rob Walden was in Dixie Twister, and Alan Platt, of course, in Georgia Shaker. Alan ran some really good times Friday night, from what I understand. I don't really see the times on Friday night, and I don't see them on Saturday either until I go to look at the ladder sheets later, you know.
Right.
But and then Robbie Walden was in Moonshot 2, which is Sam Gable's car.
Right.
And then, of course, Todd Wimberly in his own car, Southern Comfort, the Falcon. And but coming down to Saturday, Alan broke. Something happened with his clutch on Friday night, and then he had a pilot bearing problem. And they worked on the car all day Saturday, and just never could get it fixed. So he didn't get to come out at all Saturday. And then when Rob Walden run Robbie, when Robbie beat Rob in Dixie Twister, there was they think they were down a cylinder.
Oh,
They just didn't run the ET they'd been running. And in talking with Rocky today, they still hadn't had a chance to look at it, so they're not sure what's going on with it. But then when it came down to the finals or the semifinals, Robbie broke a transmission.
Oh, man.
And they couldn't get it fixed. So it came back out, and Todd had a single in the finals.
Gotcha.
But he had ran good too. You know?
Right,
I mean,
right.
he not taking anything away from them. It was great. Really enjoyed it. The AFX cars are a fan favorite.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking forward to that as that builds up and it gets better and better, you know, as it goes. We get some more cars out there. You know, they're alcohol injected. Actually, all these cars are big blocks, but from what I understand, there's maybe some small blocks coming.
Oh, really? Okay.
And but good thing about them is there's no cool off time much.
Yeah, that's true. They run
with
cool.
the alcohol. You
Yeah.
know, so they can come right back out if need be or whatever. So it helps out. As of now, you know, with it being exhibition class, you know, they can come back out quickly, you know, and kind of keep things going on the track for us,
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I say, you know, they're a fan favorite. They put on a show.
They're a good show, and like we've talked
Yeah.
about it on here before. They look a little different, and it kind of makes you take a second look. And it's and they're fast. I mean, they're fast.
Oh, they're fast. Yeah, and they got the smaller tire. You know, they got a rather a 9-inch tire.
Do you know what not to put you on the spot? Do you know what the record for the AFX cars is?
598.
Yeah, it's plenty fast.
598. I think Rob
on a 9-inch tire.
I think Rob Walden's got it in Dixie Twister.
Gotcha. Okay.
But some others have ran that but never backed it up.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but as far as I know,
Right.
You know, but yeah, it was a good show. You know, hopefully we can do it again. There's already some word about doing it again.
Good.
You know, and Gordon Rundle is building another Chrysler, so that's going to be another one out there for us.
Gotcha.
And hopefully there's more coming. Heard word of it the other day of maybe another one coming. So, you know, hopefully in the next year or so we'll have a full field of them.
That would be
It
cool.
wouldn't be
That would be
exhibition
great.
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be great for the fans.
And what do you guys? 8?
Yeah, we would
consistent
like to
8.
consistently have 8.
Gotcha.
You know, it's what we need.
Understood.
You know. And you know, going into H-Gas, we had 5 H-Gas cars this weekend, and I
Gotcha.
think that's the second time since the H-Gas class got started that we've ever had 5.
Okay.
We thought we were going to have 6, but Larry Noel had some issues and couldn't make it. So you know, but it was good. Robert Frazier has pretty much dominated it with the Barracuda, Midnight Rambler car, for quite some time now, and really fast for an H-Gas car. And he broke transmission.
Really?
And so it came down to Scott Partee and Todd Hines, Corn Pop and
American Woman,
American Woman.
Yep.
Yeah, American Woman. So, and then we had Sean Landis in his street car. It's a Plymouth Fury that he drives, and he
Really?
has street tires and stuff on it. You know, I mean, he brought it over there, and this is the second time he's ran with us. But
Gotcha.
from what I was told today, is he may be building a true slant six H-gas car.
H-gas car, cool. That's awesome.
And then we had Joy Little in the orange peeler, little Volkswagen. He's been working on that car for quite some time, and it was impressive. It looked good. They had a few issues, you know, first time out.
Right.
But it was good to see them out there. Hopefully they're going to show up in Gulfport.
Good.
We've got these same 4 AFX cars coming to Gulfport.
Mm-hmm.
So not sure how many H-gas cars. I think we got 2 or 3 on the list right now.
Okay.
For Gulfport. So that's going to be good. Looking forward to that class. There's a lot of cars that's being worked on for that.
Good.
We've got a couple of at least one of our racers that's raced C and B gas in the past, maybe even some A gas, that's building an H gas car now.
Cool.
So he's coming. It's going to be a nice car. We got John McLaughlin building an H gas car. He's got the old Willis Anglia that Quayne had.
Okay. Yep.
And he's going to turn it into an H-gas car.
Really? Okay.
And he's also got the bug zapper that Mikey had, that the 51 or 2 Chevy truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I'm not sure which one he'll be bringing, but you know, I feel like that H-gas is probably going to turn into a class pretty quick.
Pretty soon. It sounds like
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I know we've been talking about that, you know, over the past few races and stuff. So that's awesome to see it coming up.
Yeah, we got Joey Little there with his Volkswagen. We got Paul with his Volkswagen. You know, if he comes back out, then we got Robert Williamson down in Florida that he's talking about building maybe 3 H-gas cars.
Wow.
One for his daughter and his granddaughter.
Okay.
And he is a 6-cylinder guy. So, and then there's some other ones out there that they've been talking about building some cars too. So
Good.
I feel like that it's probably going to turn into a class within the next couple of years anyway.
Good.
So that'd be great. Going into super stock, Jerry Dean with his 8th win this year.
You reckon he'll be any good?
I think he's about to get it figured out. But Randy Kiefer's number 1 qualifier, and Kiefer runner-up. But we had Ronnie Jones in Crimson and Clover. It's a 67 Camaro, absolutely beautiful maroon 67 Camaro, number 3 qualifier.
Okay, great.
So he came out and ran strong, looked good. Good to see him do that. Also, John Weiss. John is from New York. I'm not sure exactly what town it is, but some of you that's followed Superstock will remember the Brian Olds Gold Dust car. It's a Barracuda.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful gold and white Barracuda. He went over to Tennessee and bought it. Showed up at this race. He had been to every race this year but one, I think, as a spectator.
Really?
And saying he's looking for a car. Well, he went over and bought it, and he came out. And I don't know what John's background is, but, you know, if he's ever raced any or not. We've talked a little bit, not a whole lot. But he came up into the water box, and he looked like he did it before.
He did it. He'd been there.
Yes, he did it. He did a great little burnout and come up to the line and made a pretty good pass, his first pass down the track. And then his first round down the track, he pulled the wheel 6-8 inches and did pretty good on his first pass down the track in eliminations, you know. So it's good to see that. Also talked with Frank Papp at Hoosier last week. You know, it's a spec Hoosier tire, the 7-inch tire in super stock, and they are continuing to manufacture that tire for us. Or not just for us, I say us, but they sell that tire at other areas too. You know?
Makes sense, yeah.
And a lot of the H-gas guys are using that tire now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the same tire for them. But let's after the race, the tech guys had decided that they were going to take a look at Mr. Dean's car, and they went, told him that they were going to take a closer look at his car, and so they tore his car down. And looked at it.
So talk me through that. I don't know if you were there. So talk me through a teardown. What would that be?
Well, I was not there. I ended up having to leave right after the race was over. But and I had told them that I did not want to be involved in it when they came and asked me about doing it. And I said, it's your prerogative. You go ahead and do what you need to do. And but I said, unless you need me, I don't want to be involved. And I don't want anyone else involved. It's just them. The tech and the team.
Makes sense. I mean, that's the only people that need to be there.
No other eyes on this.
Yep.
I think there were some people trying to peep in the trailer or something out there, I heard. But
I probably would have been too. Like, what's going on in there?
But it all went down very professional. I'm not sure exactly how it all went down, but I'll just read you a report that they put out. It says, Dear SEGA drivers and competitors, at the conclusion of the Ram Clutches Nationals at Knoxville Dragway, the Southeast Gassers Technical Department conducted a thorough teardown. Just got a text on it. Just happens every time.
That's all right.
A thorough teardown inspection of Superstock winner Mr. Jerry Dean. This teardown inspection consisted of no less than 65 individual inspection points, to include carburetor, intake manifold, and cylinder head removal. It has been determined by the SEGA Technical Department that there were 0, in capital letters, rule infractions. We would like to thank Mr. Jerry Dean and Ms. Karen Mitchell for their professionalism and courtesy throughout this inspection process. Sincerely, SEGA Technical Department. So
doesn't get any clearer than that.
Really, you have people talking in the background,
of course.
Saying this and that.
8 in a row.
And it's expected.
Right, of course.
And so that's really, it was just to put some of that to rest.
Of course.
And I feel like that Jerry and Karen were glad it happened.
Right. Well, that just, like you said, gets the rumors hushed.
And because there was no infraction found, they will be reimbursed some money for gaskets and things like that. So, just it's just part of the process.
Yep.
And I know you've been doing some of the technical stuff on the circle track deal, and it's a whole lot more in depth than what we do.
Right.
It's just
because I think you even made the comment to me at one point, like, our guys are pretty lucky, like watching these videos at what you guys are having to do. Like, there's nothing like what Brian does down in Anderson during the super trucks. I mean, I'm sure there is some, but it's not as extensive.
No, but see, we're weight to cubic inch, and that takes a lot of that away.
Yes, it does.
If you can take this cubic inch and get this out of it,
Yep.
But then you've got all the other factors that factor into what we do. You've got, if you can get this much horsepower, you've got to get it through a clutch.
Yep.
And to the ground.
Yes. Yep.
And the clutch being,
which is still blows my mind, the power that they're able to put through these clutches.
single disc clutch.
Right.
A single disc clutch. So and that is a lot of what's going on with some of the Superstock teams is they've figured out this clutch.
Gotcha.
They figured out what to do with this clutch. They figured out the gearing. They figured out tire pressures. They figured out leave RPM and everything.
A lot of time and effort put into just getting that perfect combination.
Work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A lot of hard work. A lot of documentation.
Man, that is so important in racing. Like, I feel like in the circle track world, especially, that's lost sometimes, kind of on your local stuff. But that, if you guys are racing, and I know I'm not racing right now or anything, but like, that's so important to know all these, as many of the factors that you can document as possible. It's going to make that car consistent. It's going to make it work. It's going to make you be able to get it right back there if anything goes amiss at some point. It's
exactly.
So important.
Exactly. And don't go in and make wholesale changes. Don't change 5 or 6 things at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where a lot of people mess up.
Yes.
It goes back to just like where I retired from. The machine that gone back and training some on now. That's one of the biggest problems people have. They'll have a little problem, and they'll go in there and they'll change 4 or 5 things. Well, you probably made it worse.
Probably made it worse.
You know, make
and
small,
you don't know which one it was
exactly.
that made it worse.
That's exactly it. So that's what you see here. And then two, you know, in the past in super stock, there's been some rule changes that created what you would call a soft combination. And there's been things done to alleviate that soft combination.
Soft combination meaning a not as competitive combination, or
an easy combination, something that you can take advantage.
Okay, understood.
You know, I mean, and I'm sure they're in there. They're in the gas classes. They're in pro stock. They're in and everything. That's why you see probably more so right now in anything else in pro mod.
Yeah.
You'll see pro mod. There'll be a page of rule changes between races sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and that's because somebody figured something out. You know.
Yeah.
And they do it to keep parity.
Yep, exactly.
You know. But if you go back to what Jerry Dean's got, you know, these guys tell me that there was, you know, I mean, everything was just like it was supposed to be. And the small block Chevys already carrying more weight than everybody else.
Right.
You know, it's carrying more weight than the big block Chevys. You know, and so what do? You know, you can't take hard work away from someone.
Exactly.
You know, you can maybe give someone else a little something to try to help them catch up.
Right.
I kind of go back, and it's probably go back to Bob Glidden in Pro Stock when he was just killing them.
Yep. That's literally who I was just thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, he killed it, but it was hard work.
Yeah.
Probably not a harder working man in racing than Bob Glidden was.
Yeah, probably period in racing. You know? Yeah, I agree with that.
And you had a lot of people whining about, you need to do this, you need to do that. But Bob Glidden was just working hard and outrunning it.
Right.
But then along came the small cubic inch big block, which was in there, and it was really a soft combination.
Right.
And when it came out there with Lee Shepard, I think it got squelched pretty quick. That's when they went to the 500 cubic inch stuff. I mean, and I'm not a historian on this, you know. I don't know exactly how everything worked, but I think that's when Glidden kind of got pulled back down to where people could run with him.
Right.
Was when these guys came out with that.
Right.
And but that's what's went on here, you know. I mean, there was and we're trying to take super stock to the next level. Super stock was growing like crazy, and then some changes were made, and it got knocked down. Okay. Lost a lot of drivers because of multiple rule changes. You know, there was just rule change after rule change after rule change,
and things like that get expensive for like people who aren't the racers here. Making a rule change like that, you spend a lot of money on a certain combination, and all of a sudden, I can't run that anymore. That hits the pocketbook hard.
And where this was at, sometimes it was before they even got the car finished.
Really? Okay.
You know? And so what we're trying to do is make slow, minor changes. There's really been no rule changes to super stock this year, other than taking a 100-pound penalty off of the aluminum intake. Aluminum heads. Excuse me. Aluminum heads. So. There was a penalty there, and everybody had them. Everybody had the aluminum heads, so it really didn't mean anything to have it. Yeah. So that was taken away, you know, and there's going to be some minor changes. There are going to be some height rule changes. I felt like it from the beginning that the cars were too tall. You know, they're just too tall. So there's going to be some rule changes on height. Okay. You know, I mean, when you got a 64 Galaxy like yours, that you know you have your car's stock height. Yeah, your car's stock height. Yep. Well, you know, if you look at the 64 Galaxy that's out there with us now, it's way higher, and he's even lowered it down some to what it was.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like they need to look more like they did when they were new.
Makes sense.
And so probably you're going to see that come out in the rules.
We might be getting in the weeds here, but where would that height Why would that have been implemented? A raising.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I got
I'm
you.
Not sure.
Yeah, we
I'm
won't
not
get
sure exactly.
I was just curious.
Exactly what the deal is there, but I tried to stay out of super stock rules.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
When I was tech director, but because it was a totally different deal.
Understood.
And I tried to stay away from it as much as I could. But we're going to try to get super stock better than it's ever been. I feel like there's a lot of people that's looking at super stock. I heard today that there's maybe a big hitter that's talking about building a super stock car.
Okay, cool.
And so I know of several that's being built out there right now. So we'll see how it goes. There's not going to be these wholesale changes throughout the year, though. I do know
Gotcha.
that. I mean, if somebody comes out with a, and there's a soft combination, we're probably going to have to do something, I mean, but hopefully not. I think things are pretty good right now.
Gotcha. Cool.
So, just minor changes. We're hoping to get it to like the gas classes has been for the last 4 or 5 years, just minor little changes where, everything will get equaled out. So,
Gotcha.
And it's that way in the gas classes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because I remember, at the beginning of this season, maybe one little change. I mean, it was almost nothing when I went through the rule book. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way it's going to be this year.
Good.
I mean, the rules will be out very soon on both. Probably Sam and I talked today just a little bit about it, and he and John and I will be talking a little more about it in the next day or two.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to all be good.
Good.
I guess going into C-Gas, Jaron Perdue, his second win in a row. Stud Muffin's back. We've always, everyone that knows that car knows that it's a threat when it's on the property.
Of course.
And Jaron's getting a handle on it. Jaron's a very energetic young man.
Good.
I like to say about Jaron that he's up on the chip all the time.
All
no
the
matter
time.
Anytime you're talking to him, he's just about to over-rev all the time. He's just one of those guys that's just ready to go all the time, So, but yeah, he's going to be tough in that car, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows the car. Everybody that knows the cars knows he's going to be tough in it.
Right.
Consistency in that car is the key to it. You can't. You can't overshift a car. You can't undershift a car. You just gotta be consistent in that car because it doesn't have the torque to pull out of it. It's just got a lot of RPM.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
So, but and then he's got Quayne working with him some, and helping him a little bit on it, and maybe Quayne can calm him down. He kind of reminds me of Junior Johnson. I heard Junior Johnson say one time that it's a whole lot easier to calm one down than it is to get one to go.
That's right. That's 100% right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's kind of what's going on there. And then runner-up was Todd Oden.
Right there again.
Right there again. Jaron was also number one qualifier. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong on that. Todd Oden was number one qualifier and runner-up.
Okay.
Yeah, Jaron messed up in qualifying. He was qualified back about 7th or 8th.
Okay.
Yeah, he qualified back about 7th or 8th. And then, but Oden was runner-up, and it was very close. Neither one of them knew who won.
Oh, really? It was that close?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a very close run. But that moves Jaron to third in the points. He's come alive since he got Stud Muffin.
Right. Yes, they already coming.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good move up there.
Oh, it is. Yeah. So just looking at the points, we got Oden in first, Tim Hall still second, Perdue third. Ernie Smith just keeps hanging in there. Ernie's a low-budget team. Ernie's another one of those hard workers. He works a lot on his car. And then we got Brad Wimberly that's eased into 5th place here after missing 2 races.
Wow.
If he just had show-up points for the 2 races he missed, I think he would probably be in 3rd.
Really?
If he just had show-up points for those 2 races.
Wow.
Show-up points and qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would put him probably in 3rd place.
Wow.
And then Diana's holding on right there. I think she's 6 still. So
I think they've been fighting some gremlins. Maybe I saw.
Yeah, they've had a few problems, some smoking problems, and then they had the intake problem, and they're trying out some new carburetors from Velocity Carburetors.
Okay,
they're a sponsor for them now, and Mike, the owner of that Velocity, called me up the other day, and they have stepped up and want to add to the C-Gas winner's purse.
Oh, really?
And runner-up at Gulfport.
Great.
So they've really enhanced that pot for winner and runner-up at Gulfport.
Perfect.
And super nice guy, real nice to talk with him.
Where are they out of?
They're out of Gulfport, Mississippi.
Oh, they're out of Gulfport. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Mississippi, and they met Dana and Diana down there last year.
Great, okay.
And they started a conversation back and forth, and now he's got those carburetors. And I'll say this: the car sounded totally different.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
Interesting.
But a little learning curve there. She was, not exactly where to leave at, what RPM to leave at, or whatever. She had a little learning curve, but I'm sure Diane she'll get it.
She'll get it.
She'll get it. She's But really glad to have them coming on board with Southeast Gassers. And, if there's anyone out there that would like to, just to add to the winners pot, we don't charge the racers anything to race. This is not like a per se bracket race, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking bracket racing.
Right.
And
we should talk about. I know we talked about it last season just a little bit, kind of maybe in the very first one, but maybe talk about that again. What we talked about the other day, you have like a membership that you pay each year.
It costs you $100 to be a member, and this year we're running 10 races. And so basically it costs you $10 a race.
Right.
It costs you to get in the gate. For you and your crew. And yes, a portion of that does go to Southeast Gassers, but a portion of that also goes to the racetrack.
Right.
We've got to keep the racetracks going.
Of course.
Or we won't have nowhere to race.
You won't have nowhere to race.
So, and it's not easy on these guys either. I see the runnings and the internals of what goes on at a track more now. Also, and so we've got to give something back to them also.
Right.
So we pay the winner's part solely out of Southeast Gassers. There's no entry fee. There's no anything like that. It comes directly out of the purse of Southeast Gassers.
Gotcha.
To pay the racers, and we added $15,000 to that this year alone from what it was last year.
Right.
Up and beyond what it was last year. So, like I say, if anyone wants to step up and be a part of this and help on that winner's pot, it helps the racers. If we could get a little more to go back into the semifinals or the quarterfinals, that would be great.
Of course.
Yeah,
and you can reach out directly to Randy, or if you send me a message, I'll get you in touch with Randy. Just let me know, anything like that, anything we can do to help.
I think I figured up the other day on a normal race where we've got the normal amount of racers, $2,500, added into that would go a long way in giving these guys a little bit of something, to buy a meal or
some fuel,
a tank of gas, or part of a tank of gas, maybe a tank of gas, since gas is going down right here at election time. But did I say that?
Not here, Randy. Not here. We're talking about racing here.
But anyway, that does go a long ways to help these racers out.
Yeah.
It's if you go into a bracket race and it costs you, well, I know the $1 million race just happened.
Right.
You know what the entry fee was?
I didn't hear.
$30,000.
$30,000 was the entry?
$30,000.
That's a big gamble to try. I know you're trying to win $1 million, but still. Whew.
That's what I was told.
That took
the
my
other
breath
day.
away. That was
That's what I was
way
told the
more
other
than I
day
thought
that
it would be.
That it costs like $30,000.
Wow. Was it a 64 car field? Sorry, we're getting the weeds again here if I'm not careful.
I'm not sure.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I didn't follow it or anything.
Gotcha. I didn't either.
But I do know, I did talk to a guy that was lost his round by 1/1000th, and he would have, if he would have won that round, it'd have put him into the $10,000 where he got $10,000 back.
Wow.
And lost it by 1/1000th.
Make you sick, don't it?
But anyway, I mean, and that's where we're at on this. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money to race with the Southeast Gassers as far as the race goes itself. Right. It costs a lot of money to build cars.
A lot.
It costs a lot of money to get there and get back home.
Of course.
And of course, I mean, you can spend a lot of money golfing. You can spend a lot of money trout fishing.
Anything.
Bass fishing.
Anything, just what you want to spend.
But anyway, we've got off on a whole other deal here. But anyway, I mean, this is a really good organization with a lot of good people in it.
Yes, it really is. There's a great group of people.
Yeah, and there's nothing like it out there.
Mm-hmm, that's true. I mean, and I'll tell you, we won't diverge from the racing too much here, but and we've said it before, but man, this seems like this year it's just more and more. I mean, Loams talked about Southeast Gassers. Brian Loams talked about it on the Drag Week live stream from this past week. NHRA did a little section on you guys at their Charlotte race, which you can give us some more detail on that if you want.
We had 10 cars there. Took them in Friday evening at around 2 o'clock. They pulled them out yesterday during the semifinals in the pavilion at Gate 1 at Z-Max. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there yesterday at home. I didn't get to go down this weekend, but I'm sitting there at home watching the qualifying from Saturday. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I see the front of Ben Helm's car. And Brian Loam starts talking about Southeast Gassers Association and talking about the rules and how everything is. And then it pans over and it shows a great shot of Rick Varner's Dirtman car. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that really jumped out to me as they panned by, you could see the certification sticker on his back window.
That's cool.
And then they shot inside, and then they did Kenneth's car, and you could see Spinny's car back there. You could see a little bit of Mike Swartz's car. It was kind of a quick pan. You could see Chase Howard's car. But there were 10 cars there, and we really appreciate all the guys that took the time to take their car up there and promote Southeast Gassers.
That's a big deal. It's a big commitment from them, but very cool that the NHRA would welcome it.
And he talked a little bit about it, and he's no stranger to Southeast Gassers.
Now, you talk about historian. That guy's a historian. I mean, gosh, he can rattle off stuff that you've just, it blows my mind to listen to him talk about drag racing.
Yeah, he's one of the best for sure.
Yes.
No doubt. And he's did his homework.
Yeah, a little bit.
He has did his homework. But, yeah, it was a great deal. Leslie's car was there. Tim Hall. I'm probably forgetting somebody. But anyway, we just appreciate all the guys that took the time to take their cars up there and put them on display. I talked to Don Stadola this afternoon. He was just thrilled with everything that went on with our cars this weekend. He's the one that invited us up. He's already invited us back to go to the auto fair in the spring.
Perfect.
And so you never know. There was, I think, maybe some connections made with NHRA this weekend there.
Good.
That you never know what could happen.
Of course.
You never know what could happen.
Just one conversation can start some great things.
Yes. I won't go into what I was told on that and stuff, but it's all good stuff. Anything like that, when you're sitting at home on Sunday evening and you're watching Fox Sports and all of a sudden they're talking about Southeast Gassers, that's good stuff.
That's a big deal.
This is a deal that started 10 or so years ago with 2 cars at Greer.
Right.
And
that's crazy to think about too. 10 years. That's a very fast timeline.
It is. And I kind of looked up today, counting H-gas cars and AFX cars. We've had somewhere around 150 15 or 18 cars compete with us over 8 races this year.
Wow. That's
And
very, very good.
in a not so good of a environment this year as far as, everything
costs
going
and
on.
like we've talked about. Yeah, it's been a lot, really hard to get the racetrack.
Yeah, so, and there's a lot of cars out there that's Sega legal that hasn't came out this year, and stuff. So it's good. It's a good deal. It's a really good deal. Andrew Weeby, the 47 Austin. This beautiful little car.
The Mad Canadian. That's what I'm going to start calling him because, man, those drives he's taking are crazy.
Yeah. Half pint's what he calls his car.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an absolutely super guy. I talked with him this afternoon. He was on his lunch break.
Okay.
I was talking to him. He's like 3 hours behind us.
Okay.
It was like 12:15 when I called him today, and he had texted me his number or PM me his number the other day. And so I decided I'd call him, and it just worked out that he was taking his lunch break.
Perfect.
And so 2,700 miles round trip. I mean, each way.
Each way.
Yeah, 5,200 miles, 5,400 miles round trip. So he and his dad Alf, they're great people.
Right.
Great people. And this car runs. It runs good.
Oh, yeah.
I think he qualified seventh, number 7 qualifier.
Well, this is only his second time out with that car, right?
Second time out, and he don't hold back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of these high RPM launches.
Yep. Big wheelie.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he took the car to a friend's house in Mooresville from Knoxville. He's flew home, and he's flying back and going to be in Gulfport.
Cool. Good.
And already on the list for Gulfport. And then he'll go back to Mooresville, and it's going to be at Shadyside.
Cool.
So this guy's dedicated. He wants to race with us. But, if you're at one of our events, the next 2 events, be sure to look up this little car.
For sure.
It's an absolutely beautiful car.
It's stunning. It is so clean. And if you guys, last year we went to a couple races, and this was at the Shadyside event that we were at, and I got some pretty good video of that car. So yeah, check out that video. I'll link it so that we can show it off. But check it out because it is an insanely nice car.
Yes. And we already have Dylan Horton's already got out our recap from Knoxville this weekend on YouTube. Go check it out. You can watch it and see all this and stuff. He's Langley, British Columbia.
British Columbia.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
5,400 miles. Yeah. I just can't get over that. That's a long way.
He's a metal fabricator.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. I'll have to talk to him some more about that.
Yeah.
That's kind of my background and
right.
your dad's background and stuff. So we might have something to talk about.
For sure.
He's a super guy.
Good.
Super guy. Really nice guy. So thrilled to be here.
Good.
You'd never know.
It makes
talking
such
to
a
him.
difference. It makes you want to pull for somebody when you can tell they're really having fun doing something.
You would never known that he had drove 2,700 miles to get there.
Just chipper.
He was just thrilled to be there.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah, no complaining.
Right.
Glad to be there.
Right. Yep.
But going into B-Gas, Daniel Haynes again. Daniel's still leading the points. Kevin Burt, number 1 qualifier. Kevin actually on Friday night, I'd already said that I don't really see some numbers, but the number that I heard was below the record that he ran on Friday night.
Really?
Goes out, gets number 1 qualifier on Saturday, and then just kind of roll out of the beams, roll back, and red lit from rolling back.
Man.
So the tree was already locked in, and he rolled back, so it red lit.
Right.
He didn't know which way he was going, so. But hate that for Kevin. That's a screaming car, and it goes straight.
Right.
And such a great guy.
Yeah.
He and his grandson. His grandson Gavin wasn't there this weekend. I didn't get to see him, but always glad to have them there. And Rick Varner with going to B-Gas in the Dirtman 55. He has ran a big block for a while in there, and he was a little bit off as far as the big block, and then he had some issues with the big block at Mooresville. Put Kenneth Phillips's small block in, because Kenneth's gone to a big block in A-gas.
Okay.
Put Kenneth's small block in at Mooresville, and then came back and was strong all weekend at Knoxville, and ended up runner-up to Daniel, and it was close. They looked like they were real close. Maybe he might have even had him a little bit off the line.
Mm-hmm.
And when he pulled second gear, you could hear the rear end explode in the car.
Oh no!
The third member exploded. You could hear it. Didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
You know, and but I mean, he's out there. I was standing on the line, and you can hear it explode out there. And then if you go and watch some of the videos and stuff that people's posted, you can hear it in them.
Oof.
So it tore up some stuff in there.
Oh man! Oh man!
A lot of energy.
Just imagine that's just a really not good sound.
No, and it was going to be a very close run. You
Right.
know? I mean, either way, it was going to be a close run. But that leaves Daniel in the lead in points. Ted McKee's second. Varner's up to third in the points, hanging right in there.
Yep.
And then you got Mike Blackwell. Mr. Blackwell has ran good all year long. Been just a little bit off. I think he's went to semifinals once or twice. And then you got Ken Rainwater. Rainwater's running a little better, looking a little better. Car's looking better. I don't know if he's looking any better or not. Let me put that. Let me clarify that. But anyway, you know, he's up to fifth in the points. Also, we had Josh Owens showed up this weekend at Knoxville. Moonshiner Josh Owens. I know many of you know who I'm talking about. Josh, about a year and a half ago, had just a horrendous motorcycle accident in Florida at New Smyrna Speedway, I'm pretty sure it was. Hit the wall at 70-plus mile an hour, probably closer to 80. Tara and I was sitting there watching it, and I just got a sick feeling. And I told her, I said, he's probably dead. And then I guess it was, I checked on him, heard different things about him for, quite some time now. And then probably a month ago, he got in touch with Stephen Smith, and then through Stephen, he got in touch with me and wanted to come back, and he needed a lot of stuff done to his car. So Brian Harris and Leslie and several people's done a lot of work to get his car back to where it needed to be, and he's able to show up and did pretty well.
Awesome.
I mean, they had to do some stuff because of his, his injuries and stuff, and he's not back to 100% with his feet and his legs and everything. So they had to alter some pedals and stuff to get him to where he could drive it. But he actually did pretty good.
Awesome.
And but he paired up with Adam.
I saw
Adam
this.
Lowhorn. And what a show.
Adam the dad is back now.
Adam is back. I mean, here he is doing dry hops and burnout halfway down the track.
Not just dry hops. I love it. The door open with the dry hop. It's just so.
Yeah.
It's spot on, man.
Well, I got a little insight into what the deal is on that.
Okay.
He saw a picture of Houston Platt, from what I understand, Rocky's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Anyway, yeah, Houston's Rocky's dad. And he saw a picture of him doing a dry hop with his hand holding the door open.
And so that's where he got the inspiration.
And so he's been doing it like that.
That's awesome.
So, but he left one time really, really high RPM. And the car was just up like this, and he goes all the way. I mean, he's in third gear, and the car's still up. And from what he told me, he had to burp the throttle a time or two to get it set back down. And then when it did, it bent some stuff. So
Ooh.
They're up there with bars trying to get it straightened back out so they can come back out. But there's some showmanship there.
There is.
Yeah,
there is. That's good.
He and his dad and the whole family. It's great. Had little Sonny there this weekend with some earmuffs on and stuff, and getting him dialed in early.
Yeah, I know. He already bought him a car. He bought him a car before he was born.
A Falcon.
A Falcon, yeah.
A Falcon, yeah. So it's good to see them. Always good to see them.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're going to end up. Josh is still up in the air on whether he's going to make it to Gulfport or not, and Adam also.
Gotcha.
So
makes sense.
Hopefully they can all make it down there. We'd really like to see them there. And already people calling from down there wanting to know if Adam's coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense.
But yeah, Daniel's still leading the points there, and with 2 races to go. So it's.
I can't believe it's already getting down that late in the season.
He's runnered up twice now, I think. So he's in the catbird seat now.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a couple more races to go, and good family there. Going into A-Gas, Leslie, number 1 qualifier. As I was saying before, they couldn't get down the track. He was all over the track Friday night. Ends up setting a new record.
He officially set one. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, he lowered the record
Okay.
over there.
What did that end up being now?
21 with a 1.
So fast. It's so ridiculously fast.
It is. And Ben Christopher, I guess it was probably Monday night or Tuesday night. I got a call late from Leslie, 10:30, something. He's on his way to Ben's with his spare engine. Ben heard the engine practice, tested. And so he was taking his spare engine to Ben Christopher.
That's great.
So Ben shows up, and I'm not exactly sure where Ben qualified, but he made an absolutely beautiful pass on Friday night. I mean, it was a power wheelie.
Really?
You know, I mean, he just come out and just kept carrying the wheels, you know, but came down to him and Ben in the finals, and Ben about got him with
Give
his
him a
spare
run.
engine.
That'd have been a little funny.
And,
That had to have been a little laugh there.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's Ben ran good all day, and it's good to see Ben running good. It's he and Richie Pugh are always there together. Richie always helping him and stuff. It's good to see him running good.
It is.
And, so Leslie's still leading the points there.
This Leslie's 4th win this season?
That's his 4th win.
4th win.
3 in a row.
Yep, 3 in a row. That's right.
3 in a row.
Because he
So
doubled
there's-
up at the Mooresville,
Yeah.
making up for.
So there is a
London.
bounty on him. There's also a bounty on Jaron Purdue. And then there's a $700 bounty on Jerry Dean.
Right.
And just the way that works, if no one wins that at the end of the year, he gets the
He
money.
gets it.
He gets the money.
Yeah. I think that's. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that being the way that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a little reward for him to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. And then Jaron Purdue, he got the bounty that was on Todd Oden. So
okay.
I gave him $100 at Knoxville because we forgot to give it to him at the race before.
Okay.
And but now he's won 2 in a row, so he's got a $100
back on
bounty
him.
on him. And then Leslie will have a $200 bounty on him
Right.
going into this one. But Todd Blackwell 2nd in points, Kenneth Phillip 3rd, Chase Howard 4th, and Ben Christopher is 5th.
5th.
But he's only 5 points out of Phillips and Howard are tied
Okay. Gotcha.
for 3rd.
Right.
And he's only 5 points behind them.
So he's right there with him.
He's right there with them.
Man.
So, and from what I understand, he'll still have Leslie's engine when we go to Gulfport.
Okay.
So it's a bullet too, evidently.
Right. Oh, clearly.
You know, but going back to all that, you know, I mean, in what we do here or what those guys do, I say we, but you know, I mean, there's so many variables in this, you know. I mean, you got to have your clutch right.
Yep.
There's a lot of horsepower
A lot.
in these A-gas cars.
Yes.
And you got to go through a single disc clutch.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the right gearing.
Yep.
And it's going to a 10.5-inch tire.
Right.
You know, so
I think that's lost. I think people lose sight of that sometimes.
They
I
do.
mean, that's these.
You know, and then you look at the time that Leslie ran.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you look at the time that the BCAS cars run.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of these cars, the record, are in the 5s.
Man.
You know.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of these guys out here that's spending bukus of money with all kinds of electronics.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And they're leaving at exactly the same time, you know, I mean, the same RPM every pass with an automatic. They're shifting at the exact same time with a great big tire,
mm-hmm.
and they're still not running that fast.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so.
Yeah, that's where whenever Randy tells me that record goes down and I give it the, that's why, because it is very, very impressive.
That it is. We want to thank Ram Clutches, you know, Pat and Mike. They had a booth set up there this weekend, gave T-shirts out, throwing them out to the crowd and stuff. We really appreciate them. They do a lot for us. They do a lot for the racers. They're always there for them, you know, fixing stuff in a hurry, you know. G-Force, I mean, you know, if you hook a clutch up, you got to have a transmission behind it.
That's right, exactly.
You know, and Roby Merrick and G-Force, they do an absolutely great job with what they do. I always want to thank them for what they do and stuff, you know. So, all of our sponsors, Summit, Molly, Larice Motorsports Insurance, Quick Times Performance, Mortgage Options,
Excess Batteries
is they've come on board, and I'll be putting something out on members only tomorrow about excess batteries and the contact point there. We get distributor pricing on those now.
Awesome.
Excess batteries and the jump boxes also. So yeah, they do a great job for us. Mickey Thompson Tires. Yeah, we've got a host of really good sponsors. Don Baskins Trucking, and so yeah, it's all a good deal. It all comes together to be able to do this.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It costs a lot of money to do this. You know, I mean, we've got a pretty good amount that we have to pay all of our crew members that put all this together too. You know,
of course.
You know, so. And you know, I can't never thank my guys enough, you know, for all they do. You know, they're all great people, good people to work with. And PowerTube TV. The episode was supposed to come out last Tuesday night. They had some difficulties in editing, so it will be coming out tomorrow night.
Okay, gotcha.
On PowerTube TV. But tonight at 8 o'clock, Greg's Speed Shop, Built for Speed, will be on PowerTube TV. So tune into it on PowerTube TV. There's multiple different ways you can get to it. Roku, YouTube, YouTube TV, Fire, all the different ones that do streaming.
Right,
so.
Exactly. And that means that the next episode for you guys will be out September 24th, right? You said tomorrow night?
Yes.
Okay, so September 24th. I just want to make sure we had a date in
and
there.
that is the Union race that it was so hot.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a little bit of the clip, and they're talking about track temps of 129 or something. They should have checked it later because it was
even hotter,
140, 150.
Man.
So it got much harder than what they saw when they did that.
Right.
So.
Right. And the next race coming up, you guys are going down south, heading to Gulfport Raceway, right? Or Dragway, excuse me.
Yeah, Gulfport. Gulfport. We'll be there on the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
11th and 12th.
11th and 12th.
Yep.
11th and 12th. Cruisin Coast is all week long.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff going on down there. They've got pavilion set up downtown somewhere there. There's a lot of different things going on down there that week. That's car enthusiasts for anything you want to go look at. It's just like, as I've said before here, it's like for us locals and stuff and people that go to Pigeon Forge or go to the Rod Run, it's like 15 miles of that.
Gosh.
You know?
Yeah, I've got to get down there one of these days.
It's just every parking lot.
Yeah.
You know, you can ride down the main strip And they're just every parking lot's full, but you can go back off the side streets and all the hotel parking lots are full, you know, and everything and stuff. So just everywhere you go, the restaurant parking lots. And our race on Friday and Saturday down there last year was like a car show in a parking lot.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's a good deal. Good deal. It's somewhere to take your family. Enjoy it and have a good time. Come out on Saturday and watch us race.
Exactly.
Friday night and Saturday.
Yep, that'll be great. So, make sure to check that out. If you guys don't mind, if you enjoyed this or you learned something from it, hit that subscribe button for us here at Shift Points as well. We appreciate Randy letting us be a part of this. And if there's anything that you guys would like to see us do in this or specifics that you would like for us to talk about that maybe we haven't before, let us know, and we'll make sure that we cover that with each one. We want to continue to make these better and make it part of your Southeast Gassers experience. You can go see a race and then you come back and kind of get all the details and kind of behind the scenes a little bit with us. So we appreciate you guys very much for letting us do this.
I sure do. Appreciate you.
All right. Good deal. Well, we'll see you guys after Gulfport Dragway. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.